So. Zeit mal wieder in Genshin reinzugehen, würde ich mal so behaupten. Ach, ja. Wir haben ja letzte Woche haben wir ja diese Neverending Cave beendet. Allerdings war das noch nicht alles zum Thema Arasaki Gang und Yelan. So, natürlich erstmal Daily Login reinholen. Machen wir tatsächlich erstmal das, was ich erstmal vorhatte. Und zwar die Legenden. Den Legendenauftrag von Yelan. So, jetzt haben wir's. Zugegeben, Weeklies und Co. kommen auch noch. Weeklies, Dailies. Hi!
Na,
Hi.
alles fit?
Ja, muss. Quasi. Selbst?
Ja, auch. Ich kämpfe jetzt zwar gerade mit meinem Minecraft,
Wieso kämpfst du mit Minecraft?
weil ich extreme Lag-Spikes habe,
Alles
wenn ich
schlecht.
mein Inventar oder eine Kiste öffne. Also ich habe wirklich kurz Standbild und dann ist es da.
Es ist echt schlecht.
So, jetzt gehen wir mal die harte Schiene. Jetzt ja, machen wir 24 GB RAM.
Läuft.
Auch wenn es Minecraft eigentlich fickt, wenn es zu viele sind, aber wir probieren.
Ja.
Und du machst deine Genshin Weeklies, habe ich gerade gehört.
Mitunter. Also ich mache erstmal den einen Legendenauftrag, den ich noch offen habe. Dann ist ein neues Event, was jetzt momentan angefangen hat. Das fangen wir dann mal an, weil ich denke kaum, dass wir das fertig kriegen. Aufgrund...
weil du von wir redest.
Nee. Wir mit das Kollektiv der Spieler.
Alter, du redest wie so eine WoW-Gilde.
Ja, manchmal ist das so. Also, dass man das Event momentan fertig machen kann, weil Höhle wieder der Meinung ist, die Dinger auf verschiedene Tage raus zu releasen und nicht direkt alles auf einmal. Spieler halt bei der Stange halten. Klassiker. Ja, mal schauen. Und dann noch die Weeklies, Dailies. Ja. Wobei Weeklies, Dailies eine ganz schnelle Nummer ist. Das ist ein bisschen kochen, ein bisschen billige Bosse niedermetzeln, weil ich krieg ja eh nichts mehr dafür. Also warum soll ich jetzt die großen Bosse metzeln? Oder beziehungsweise die Kopfgeldjagden, besser gesagt, nicht Bosse. Ja gut, ich hätte schon so Möbel in Produktion geben können bei mir in der Kanne. Und Schmieden. Das ist auch innerhalb von kurzer Zeit durch. Also,
So.
der Rest dann wieder fürs Wochenende. Bei irgendwie wieder geiern, dass ich die Kanne besuchen kann.
Auf jeden Fall funktioniert die Mobfarm zu gut.
Das habe ich gerade gesehen. Also, das war voll. Das klingt so ein bisschen nach Open Blocks, Ventilatoren und gib ihm Vollfläche an Spawning Ground.
Du meinst, dass ich so gemacht habe?
Ja.
So, das ist die simpelste Minecraft-Farm, die ich je gebaut habe.
Echt?
4 Plattformen, 4-mal Wasser, ein Loch, ein Drop, fertig.
Kein Dach, kein gar nichts.
Natürlich ein Dach.
Achso.
Ja.
4-mal Wasser, das heißt, du hast auch nur eine 8x8 Plattform genommen?
Ja.
Oder.
Hier 8x8 Plattform. Und ich glaube, ich habe das Dach nicht mal ausgeleuchtet und da sind ein paar Spawning Grounds oben drauf. Also.
Ja, gut, du hast Sonne, ne?
Ja, aber natürlich schon nachts.
Ja, okay, nachts ist doof. Das wird doof. Ja.
Aber trotzdem, also.
Hat funktioniert. Das liegt vielleicht an diesen. Wobei, ja, weiß nicht. Ah, warte mal, ich glaube, die waren damals wesentlich spawnfreudiger. Bei 1.7.10 noch. Ja. Imagine, Alter, 1.7.10, wir sind bei der 1.19. Wir sind schon 12 Versionen drüber.
Einfach gestartet. Jetzt komme ich hier mit. Wie viel Gigabyte RAM auf dem Server? Warte mal gucken.
25 GB gebe ich Feuer.
Wir sind bei 21 GB RAM.
Geil.
So, mal kurz die Welt reinladen lassen. So, Inventar öffnen. Und aktuell zumindest habe ich keine Lag-Spikes.
Da, alles gut. So. Ich habe auf jeden Fall jetzt erstmal ein paar Konversationen vor mir.
Gut aus, ja. So, aber dann lasse ich Genshin machen, dann mache ich
Dankeschön.
bei denen weiter.
Gönn dir.
dann,
Vielleicht komme ich nach dem Duschen später auch nochmal um den Server.
Okay, gut. Dann bis dann.
Oh fuck, jetzt geht er. Jetzt wollte ich ihn gerade was fragen.
Tschüss.
Tschö.
So ein Bastard. Viel Spaß, Kevin.
Ah.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea?
Ich glaube, das Spiel ist noch zu leise.
I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially recently, I've noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy levels. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond redemption.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving advice, so a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible in their assessment and appointment. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Oh?
Yelan.
Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
Alright then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Huh? Yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house.
Ach Ach was. Neue Besitzerin von der Teestuhl. Ja, moin.
You're all set?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tien is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Interessant, interessant. So, direkt mal erstmal in die Einstellungen rein, weil ich bin immer noch der Meinung, dass es zu leise ist. Das ist auch. So. So. Nächstes Ziel ist da oben. Okay.
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Senua Kiosk. Place to go for classic you edition.
Und laufen. Warum ist in Liyue gerade keine Musik? Ist ja voll doof. Ah, jetzt hat. Setzt nur zu spät ein. Raiden ist und bleibt einfach Waifu Nummer 1. Punkt. Völlig egal, was die anderen sagen. Was ist für wieder Schatten in die Charaktere werfen?
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Oh, jetzt schon.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just...
Hi, ich bin's
now
wieder.
you're just being
Hi.
unreasonable.
Ich hoffe, ich störe gerade nicht bei irgendeiner Cutscene.
Du bist genau in dem Moment also Cutscene sowieso nicht, ich bin gerade in einem automatischen Gespräch eigentlich, aber das kann man schönerweise unterbrechen. Was kann ich für Sie tun?
Ich chill mich nur ein bisschen bei dir rein, weil die da oben schauen Film und beleidigen sich die ganze Zeit noch.
Oh Gott!
Also, ich kann auch gerne still sein, das ist... Wir haben Yelorium.
Ja.
Wir haben Shiny.
Das-
Mach du dein Gespräch. Wenn dein Gespräch fertig ist, sag Bescheid, dann sag ich dir mal, was so Status ist.
Lass mich raten, das ganze Zeug kriegst du gerade aus den Lootbags.
Natürlich. Ich habe auch schon meinen scheiß Flint Longsword Grandmaster, also... Was soll ich denn damit machen?
Nun, Grandmaster Longsword auf Flint ist wild. Nun, ja, dann sag ich mal, bis die gleich.
Bis gleich.
Ich mute mich mal dazu, dann kannst du weiter schön erstaunt kommentieren.
Ach du, kannst ruhig entmüde bleiben, alles gut.
Okay.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for, and Mingboa cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it would be better than nothing.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the assessment process. I've split it into 2 stages: current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow, one of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person's proposing. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done.
Erstmal lesen wie der letzte Mongo. Heieieiei. Okay, verstehe. Der Typ mit dem Hut schreibt also sehr viel und sehr gerne. Aha, ja. Jemand hat gesagt, dass du automatisch abspielen sollst. Ah! Warte mal. Moment, wieso? Oh, Mist, okay, alles klar. Mist, okay. Na gut. Zwischensitzen sind mit Standardmöbeln, Alter. Das haben die nicht ernsthaft gebracht, die Jungs. Oh mein Gott. So. Kann ich den Mist irgendwo nochmal nachlesen? Ist jetzt die Frage. Kann ich hier nicht nachlesen, aber vielleicht... Hier. Nee, das war schon mal nicht. Büchersammlung, vielleicht da dran. Oh. Ich kann die Bücher lesen aus dem Event. Cool. Fuck. Okay, also kann ich nicht nochmal nachlesen. Alles klar, gut. Yelan, was geht?
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets. That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact.
Alter, ist der Typ abgehoben.
Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about.
Bingo, hat aber lange genug gedauert.
With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and He was just a pleasure to listen to.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented. But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary! Paimon couldn't agree more! You're good at this, Yelan.
Last but not least, Yi. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Yi take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great!
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
Okay. Dann heißt wieder laufen. Und Tobi, läuft's bei dir?
Minizio, Kopfschüssen im Dunkeln wachsen?
Nee.
Weil, wenn ich auf sie drauf schaue, steht da Light Level, Doppelpunkt, in Rot eine 0 und dann in Klammern dahinter eine 15.
Sie brauchen Licht.
Ja, aber es ist Tag und sie sind draußen. Sie sind am helllichsten Tag, die Sonne ist wirklich
Ist vielleicht ein Baum oder sowas drüber oder irgendein anderer Block?
Nein, ich habe mich weit weggebaut, weil ich eigentlich hier die Tiere spawnen wollte.
Ah.
Warte mal, ich habe übrigens Soul Sand. Ich weiß zwar noch nicht ganz, was uns das bringt, aber ich hab's.
Soul Sand war auch für irgendwas, ne? Ich weiß aber gerade noch nicht so.
Also ich weiß nicht, ob
ganz
ich einen Formkraft brauche.
Ah, warte mal, das war um irgendwas, das ist Grundmaterial, um irgendwas umzuwandeln. Ich glaube mit Witchwater sogar. Konntest
Potatoes
du damit...
haben wir auch, Carrots haben wir auch.
Ja,
Tut
gut,
mir leid, die
das sieht's aber schon.
Inventarsortierung geht hier gerade so flöten, so viel Loot wie wir haben.
Ja, ich habe nur ein paar Kisten irgendwo hingestellt und habe ein bisschen versucht zu sortieren. Ich habe da nicht allzu viel gemacht.
So, warte, ich nehme mal Holz. Und baue jetzt mal ein Dach über die Seas. Bevor ich irgendwas mache, mache ich mal den Dropdown jetzt zunehmen. So. Oh, danke Spiel.
Habe ich neue Gerüchte hier? Nein. Mao, hast du neue
So,
Gerüchte?
was passiert, wenn ich eine... Ah, okay, nee, die braucht tatsächlich Licht. Da ist aber Fackeln um die rum. So, habt Licht.
Das heißt, Sonnenlicht reicht denen momentan nicht aus.
Ja. Aber
Ja,
es ist helllichter Tag, ist das uncool. So,
So
dann
ich auch
will
ein
ich die
bisschen
wachsen.
Nicht reicht, aber gut.
Ich wollte dir sagen, was wir so an besonderen Items jetzt bis jetzt haben.
Ja, gönn dir.
Warte, erstmal Inventar leer machen mit Holz hier. Also klar, Minizio-Essenz. Ist klar. Ist ja schlussfolgernd. Dann fangen wir mal an. Fangen wir mit der Kiste an. Natürlich Bone und Arrow jetzt unendlich, genauso wie Köpfe. Gunpowder String genauso. Redstone, Glowstone kommt auch raus. Rotten Flesh, klar. Alter, wie viel Minizio sind's? Wir haben ein Electrical Steel. Wir haben 4 Dark Steel.
Mhm.
4 Gold Ingots. Das hier ein Potzoll. Noch ein Electrical Steel tatsächlich. 2 mal Copper Ingots. Ah, Common Treasure haben wir hier sogar. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was ich bekommen habe. Ach, ein Goldingel, wow. Dann haben wir noch natürlich die Open Blocks Statuen. Im Golden Eggs. Wir haben Ferris Ingot. Ein Conductive Iron. Ein Shiny Ingot. 3 Eisen Ingots, glaube ich.
Mhm.
Ja, Seeds von allen möglichen. Mega Rubber Sapling. Und ansonsten, ja, so ein bisschen was kommt raus, aber ich glaube nichts Großartiges.
Okay.
Das ist nur, dass die Mobs zu viel da sind, weil die nämlich schon an den Ecken rausgeschossen kommen und wieder zurückgeschleudert werden.
Ja, das habe ich schon gesehen in deinem Video.
Ja, das mögen die anscheinend nicht. So, jetzt habe ich eine Frage, vielleicht weißt du das gerade aus dem FF.
Stegreif, ja.
Wie kriege ich Gras? Also ich brauche ja eine Grasfläche, um Tiere spawnen zu lassen.
Richtig, dazu brauchst du prinzipiell logischerweise Erde und du kriegst, lass kurz überlegen, ich meine aus auch Sand Grass Seeds. Das
Warte mal,
sind,
ich schau
die
mal.
sind, die sehen, muss mal kurz überlegen, aus dem Kopf
Ah,
raus, ich
jo.
meine, die sind relativ hell und sehen aus wie Pumpkin Seeds.
Ah ja, da, ja, wir haben schon welche. Oh lol. Okay, das wäre cool.
Gott, das ist krass, dass ich das gerade so aus dem Kopf rausgeholt
Ja,
habe.
das,
Ich
macht
sollte.
mir irgendwie Angst.
Ja, aber weißt du, was das Schlimme ist? Ich weiß, dass ich diese Fähigkeit allgemein sehr viel habe. Oh, jetzt bin ich mitten in eine Cutscene reingerannt. Warum ist da Zhongli? Was habe ich jetzt schon wieder getriggert?
Noch eine Frage kurz.
Ja.
Wir
Gönn
haben
dir.
keine Möglichkeit, einfacher dort zu bekommen als der bekannte Weg, oder? Aktuell.
Noch nicht, nein.
Okay. Auch Sapling, ihr geht fliegen.
Aber du kannst dir einen ganz schnellen Shortcut machen, weil der Dirt Seed ist einer der ersten Minicio Seeds, die du machen kannst. Musst.
Oh.
Und da kriegst du eine Scheißladung von raus.
Also Ergo Natura Seeds oder was? Aus Natura Seeds kriege ich Dirt raus. Ah ne, warte, Earth Essence, da.
Ja, wollte schon sagen.
Earth Seeds, 1 Minitio Seeds, 4 Dirt und 4 Acacio Essence.
Ja, Acacio ist halt Minicio einmal zusammengecraftet mit dem Kristall.
Mit dem Infusion Stone, ja.
Ja.
Wie mache ich den? Mit dem Diamant. Ja,
Diamant umhüllt von Minicio Essence?
ja. Soll ich
Ja.
einen Diamant oder einen Emerald benutzen?
Nimm lieber
Weil-
Emeralds, weil die Emeralds sind noch nicht so wertvoll für uns.
Okay, weil ich habe nämlich die Wahl, deswegen.
Das ist mir klar, dass du das hast. Das hattest du gestern schon.
Who that?
So, was hab ich jetzt hier für eine Cutscene getriggert? Wo bin ich jetzt denn gerade reingesprungen? Ohne Sound ist das räudig. Ach, deine Händler. Ach so, der Geschichtenerzähler. Altstadt. Okay. Okay. Gewöhnlicher Mensch, natürlich schon. Gewöhnlicher Mensch. Was ist los, Tobi?
Ein Skelett in der Mobfarm ist Mayhem gegangen. Wir haben jetzt 2 Music Discs. Wir haben einmal das C418 Stell und einmal 99 Lives Flashlight.
99 Lives Flashlight? Oh lol, ich erinnere mich.
Da waren ja die Gallen drin.
Nee, der Punkt ist, das war ja die Zeit, wo 99 Lives gerade gestartet ist mit dem Modpack.
Ja, das stimmt.
Und Bacon Donuts hat ja sich immer... Also der war ja einer der Hauptsponsoren von dem, in Anführungszeichen, Label.
Ja,
Und deswegen gibt's ja 99 Lives Lieder. Lol. Oh Gott.
Ja,
Das ist gut. Ja, gleich erstmal 99 Lives anschmeißen in Minecraft, lol.
ja, aber ich glaube, für einen Music Player, glaube ich, muss ich unsere eine Diamant benutzen.
Eine Jukebox braucht doch keinen Diamanten.
Der braucht immer einen Diamanten. Doch, der braucht einen Diamanten.
Ach, warte mal, nee, der Noteblock war das.
Der No-Block braucht keinen.
Ja, stimmt. Wir haben nur einen einzigen Diamanten.
Wir haben nur einen einzigen Diamanten, ja.
Ich habe gehört, das werde ich beim Duschen ändern. Ich werde meine Hämmer so durchgrinden durch den Cobblestone, das glaubst du nicht.
Ach so, ich dachte, du willst einen auskacken. Ja, nee, dann ja, warum nicht?
Ja,
Mit genügend Druck kann ein Diamant immer entstehen.
Ja, so viel Druck kann ich aber nicht aufbauen, Tobi.
Aber wäre lustig.
Ja.
Und ich habe kein Essen mehr. Drying Racks zu benutzen, damit wir Meat bekommen hier. Die nächste Musikdisc.
Schon wie du kleiner Wichser. Ah. Was ist denn mit einem Müßiggänger? The fuck?
Monkey.
Was für ein Monkey?
Wie Rufi.
Ah. Diese Monkey.
Petro! Ich brauche ein Eisen!
Kann nicht so schwer sein, da ranzukommen, lul.
Ja, ich stehe schon immer noch für, mache alle Looting Bags, aber ein Eisen für eine scheiß Watering Can.
Ich dachte, da wäre es einfacher dran gewesen, wenn du einfach ein bisschen Gravel durchgezogen hättest.
Ja, aber da bin ich zu faul für. Das ist lieber einfach nur linke Maustaste drücken.
Makrofähige Mäuse. Was?
Ich hab doch eine makrofähige Maus.
Siehst du?
Aber ich mach's nicht, weil ich den Spaß daran haben will, mit meinem Flint Longsword auf Level Heroic.
Leute zu. Ja, das ist ja auch vollkommen okay. Aber so
Oder
nimmst
dass es Glück hat.
Das glaube ich dir gerne.
Es hat mittlerweile
Lol, den
Luck,
kann ich an die
Auto-Repair und
Wand
Bane
hängen?
of Aphropods.
Den Fächer, den ich gerade aus der Quest bekommen habe, den kann ich an die Wand hängen. Das ist ja cool. Wirklich ist mir meine Hauptfülle aufgehangen. So, dann würde ich mal sagen, wird es wieder ein bisschen Zeit für die Legenden-Quest. Nachdem ich mich aus Versehen in einer komplett random Side-Quest verloren habe.
Es ist aber schlimm, also das ist in solchen Spielen, glaube ich, kannst du dich extrem schnell in so Sidequests verlieren.
Ja, der Punkt ist halt, ich bin ganz normal durch Liyue gelaufen und ganz plötzlich lande ich in so einer Mini-Cutscene quasi. Also so in einem Gespräch halt.
Naja,
Zum
kommt einer
Scripted.
so Pokémon aus Versehen Trainer angeschaut mäßig.
Ja, genau. Ich so, hä, warum wird denn der Bildschirm jetzt schwarz? Ich sehe da nur noch Zhongli sitzen mit dem Geschichtenerzähler aus Liyue. Ich denke mir so, was habe ich jetzt getriggert?
Was wollten die von mir, scheiß Schweine?
Wollten über die Vergangenheit reden, so wie es Zhongli halt immer gerne tut. Und dadurch habe ich einen Dekorationsteil für die Kanne bekommen. Einen wunderschönen Fächer, den ich an die Wand hängen kann.
Sehr nice.
Den der Geschichtenerzähler persönlich gezeichnet hat. Wirklich cooles Ding.
Somebody. Be happy. Jetzt drop mir doch ein Eisen. Es kann nicht wahr sein, ich.
Das ist einfach Zhongli, der übers Meer fliegt. Also als Rex Lapis.
Ich
So.
habe irgendwie das Gefühl, dass Auto-Repair nicht mithalten kann.
Na, es kann gut sein. Onkel Tian, was geht?
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Jur-E's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now. Those three
Ich hab ein viertes Eisen.
candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Juri was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tian?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work, and as for Juri, that was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Juri came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student and a fast learner. He reminded me of a younger version of myself, so I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got on. Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see, but it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire and spend my days doing what old men like me should be doing. Going fishing whenever I feel like it.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tian.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time. Ooh, and freshly caught fish, they make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fresh fish soup. Sounds tasty.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Jury purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman. When we've been fishing recently, Jury always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. The addition of these makes the soup taste even more wonderful. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Can Paimon come next time too? Paimon really wants to try it.
Let's get back to the matter
Gott, ist
at
Paimon
hand.
wieder verfressen.
Uncle Tian, we've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
Wir haben fucking crops.
I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Jury's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision only after a thorough review of each candidate's talents and capabilities. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on,
Ja.
let's go talk somewhere else.
Weißt du, ist so eine Krop, wenn sie ausgewachsen ist. Ohne sie abzubauen.
Bitte was?
Wie harveste oder wie tue ich so eine Crop ernten, wenn sie ausgewachsen ist? So eine Earth Crop. Muss ich die abbauen?
Versuch erstmal Rechtsklick.
Geht nicht.
Das heißt, das war die 3er-Version. Okay. Ne, die 2.4er war es, wo das ging. Dann musst du sie abbauen. Nebenbei, kleiner Hint. Looting hilft.
Yes, I remember. Du hast extra die Glückdinger gemacht für die Ender-IO-Station.
Mhm.
Deswegen bekomme ich auch keine Seeds raus.
Ja gut, das ist sowieso ein schwieriger Fall. Ja, das ist selbst mit Looting 3 ein assiger Punkt.
Nee, also ich baue es mit der Hand ab, da kriege ich keine Seeds raus.
Ja, da brauchst du nur 3 Jahre für dann, ja.
Dann baue ich gleich mal mit meinem Schwert ab. Es hat ja Lack drauf. Dürfte doch funktionieren.
Mhm. Eigentlich schon.
Bye bye, Uncle Tian. Look after yourself.
So, wir verlassen die Teestube und reden wieder mit Yelan.
Be Jerry, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. the truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Die hat 2 Informationssammler. Oh Gott. Ich überlege gerade, wer war der Letzte, der es auch hatte?
Ich.
Ja gut, du sowieso, nein, aber ich meine tatsächlich in Genshin, da gab es nochmal einen Charakter, der sowas ähnliches hatte wie Yelan.
Who are they? Where did they come from?
Ach, Sarah war es,
Did they
genau.
scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Ippei,
in
who's
New
not here right
Orleans.
now.
Ach, Ippei, nicht Ippei. Ippei sagte mir, hätte mir nicht was gesagt. Aber das war, glaube ich... Ja, Ippei war Inazuma, nicht Liyue.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background.
Wir haben unsere erste
Go to
Kuh.
the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri, well, obviously as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves. Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there. You can find out all kinds of things.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He does business at the North
Besteht aus
Wharf.
Monster Ultra.
Maybe he has some news for us.
Hm?
That's
Mein
actually not a
Blut
bad
besteht aus
idea. Let's go and ask him.
Monster Ultra.
Oh!
Ich bin mir mittlerweile relativ sicher, dass es sogar zutrifft.
Ich überlege gerade, wie viel Liter Blut hatten die im Körper?
The key here is consumer psychology. Join the Adventurers Guild.
Circa 7 bis 8 Liter.
Ja, ich traue dir sehr gut zu, dass du da schon Intus hast. Seit den letzten beiden Tagen.
Ich habe jetzt heute wieder neun, wie viel sind in einer drin? 12, ein neues 12er-Pack geholt.
Weißt du, und ich nag jetzt schon seit einem Monat an meinem 12er-Packen rum an Monster Nitro.
Ah, moin, ich bin der Fettsack.
Du wirst ja so hart auf Entzug leben, wenn du hier bist, ey.
Vielleicht ganz gut.
Mhm.
Ich glaube, was das Beste tatsächlich ist, dass ich auf Entzug von Rauchen sein werde.
Naja, gut. Ist halt also du wirst zumindest beim Zocken nicht mehr rauchen, das ist richtig.
Eben, und da rauche ich halt nonstop. Da geht eine Kippe nach der anderen weg.
Ja.
Also nicht beim Rauchen, nicht zockt, dann ist es schon fast gar nichts mehr.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion.
Außer beim Saufen.
I stand before it,
Ja,
alone
gut.
and
Ja, das
unchanging.
gebe ich zu. Beim Saufen, klar.
Ich
da
sehe schon
fliegen
kommen.
Auch die Kippen.
Tobi aus irgendeinem Grund entscheidet sich dazu, bei mir tatsächlich mal Livestream mitzugucken und sich hinter mir die ganze Zeit eine Kippe am reinziehen, Alter.
Nee, ich will Indoor echt nicht rauchen bei dir. Also, aus dem Fenster okay, aber finde ich schon grenzwertig, weil ich weiß es ja selber. Wenn du so ein Wochenende in so einem Zimmer rauchst, auch wenn es einigermaßen gut durchlüftet ist, du musst es dann wirklich eine Nacht lang oder fast einen Tag lang sperrangelweit offen lassen mit dem Fenster, damit der Geruch wieder gut rausgeht.
Okay, ja, okay.
Der setzt sich und ich weiß halt nicht, also ich habe mir extra Nikotinfarbe, also nikotinresistente Farbe hier reingepackt. Ich weiß nicht, wie es mit deiner Farbe ist. Das geht halt auch, also über mehrere Jahre hinweg. Klar, geht es auch auf die Farbe, aber ich will. Das ist mir einfach. Also, da gehe ich lieber runter und. Wasserpfeife, ja, okay. Anton muss mir noch eine neue Bowl kaufen, bevor der Rapper dann der schwule Wichser.
Ja. Richtig.
Ja.
Achso, du tauscht also nur den Korpus jetzt aus. Den Rest lässt du dann doch.
Halt die Bowl, ja. Die hole ich mir neu. Der Rest ist ja okay, aber ich krieg zum Verrecken die Bowl. Du weißt ja ungefähr noch, wie meine Pfeife aufgebaut ist.
Ja.
Du tust diesen Stutzen, wo dann die Schläuche rankommen, tust du in die Bowl rein und dann drehst du den nur so ein.
Richtig.
Seitdem die runtergefallen ist, zerbrochen ist, kriege ich diesen Stutzen da nicht rausgedreht. Ich weiß nicht, was passiert ist. Mit aller Kraft, die ich habe ich das nicht aufbekommen.
Wie viel ist von dem Korpus noch übrig?
Inwiefern?
Grifftechnisch.
Komplett. Da ist
Achso.
noch alles dran, nur das Glas unten ist kaputt gegangen.
Also nur der Boden ist zerbrochen quasi?
Ja, genau. Und ich krieg aber das Glas, also die Bowl, kriege ich von dem, was oben drauf kommt, wo dann die Schläuche reinkommen, kriege ich nicht rausgedreht. Keine Chance. Mein Opa, wenn das nächste Mal kommt, nimmt er seine Rohrzange mit, Alter. Also.
Nee, Rohrzange wäre doof, da muss ja das Metall kaputt.
Ja, aber das Metall an der Bowl ist ja scheißegal, das kann dann kaputt gehen.
Ah ja, stimmt.
Also.
Das ist schon fremd. Was für ein Material war die nochmal?
Edelstahl, keine Ahnung.
Es kann nämlich sein, dass das Gewinde nämlich nicht so an für sich nicht so gut war und die ganze Zeit nur gehalten hat, weil keine Luft rankam.
Es war ja kein Gewinde, es ist ja...
Es ist nur ein Bajonettverschluss, ja, stimmt.
Also ich weiß nicht, ob Bajonett das ist, was ich meine, aber wahrscheinlich schon. Es ist halt nur so reintun und so 20 Grad drehen und dann ist es fest.
Ja, das ist auch ein Bajonettverschluss.
Ja, genau, das meine ich.
Komisch.
Ja, keine Ahnung.
So, dann hören wir uns doch mal am Hafen.
Your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes that.
Dämmerfrüchte von höherer Qualität. Digga. Und du redest mit einem echt harten Händler gerade. Und dann kommen wir auch noch recht um die Ecke gerade. Schwierig.
I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so.
Alright. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet.
Er kann gut labern, wenn der Tag nicht
If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us wants that.
So viel Blödsinn, wie du laberst, hält sich dir gleich Jan fernhals und dann hast du wieder ganz viele Gerichtskosten. Versuch den armen Herrn nicht zu verarschen, das funktioniert nicht. Besonders nicht in Liyue.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price. I'll take all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life. Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Die Antwort ist so gut. Also Dämmerfrüchte habe ich ganz viele von in der Tasche. Ich weiß nicht, was du hast, Polai. Ja. Das ist die perfekte Response darauf.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty.
Alfredo!
His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family.
What? Wie selbstlos kann der Mensch bitte sein?
He
Okay.
returned cruelty with kindness. Injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and... oh, how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late. If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador for Wanyo Boutique.
Oh, he sounds like a decent man. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... Ah, that's Juri right over there. Why don't we go and talk to him?
Where? Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Yelan. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't
Hey,
try and
du,
cut
Tobi.
me out of this.
Ja.
Wie für die
Hey!
Samba Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones eigentlich auch ein Bellberry?
Let's walk and talk.
Ja. Nein.
Nein?
Nein. Für Ancients gibt es keine Bellberries, nur für die normalen.
Also habe ich jetzt,
To buy a one
also
more
hab ich
set?
jetzt jedes Stone Bellberry.
Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother
Neun.
trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well.
Ich kann, glaube ich, die normalen 1 bis 8 kaufen. Und
The
die
truth is,
Samba
an old
1
friend
bis
of mine
9.
likes to have a drink now and then.
Da muss man
He
ja
fancies
eh
himself as a
New Game
man
Plus
of
gehen,
culture,
wenn man
but doesn't
mehrere...
care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Yelan.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
There we go.
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great guy.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Do we have to? Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianshu yourself, are you?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
We will? Well, come on! Off to the South Wharf we go!
Ei. So, Angelstelle. Wo ist sie denn? Ach, am anderen Hafen ist die.
Uwe, du machst dich nicht ins Abyss, okay?
Wer ist nochmal Uwe?
So neu gespawnte Kuh, aber wir haben halt noch keinen Zaun. Also die steht einfach nur auf dem Feld. Und Alfredo ist unser Hühnchen, das läuft schon rum wie nichts anderes.
Hast du sie auch schon benannt?
Wir haben einen Nametag, aber wir haben keinen Amboss.
Das ist scheiße. Ich weiß schon, ich muss es wirklich gleich beim Duschen mal so richtig den Hammer durchschwingen, Alter, und dann das Sieb.
Hammer schwingen lassen. Dazu musst du aber nicht in Minecraft kommen.
Das mache ich dann nur, wenn Tobi da ist. Damit es sich auch lohnt.
Ja, wir müssen wirklich irgendwann mal, wenn ich dann bei dir bin, wir beide auf Teams sind mit irgendjemand anderes, müssen wir sagen, so ja, wir müssen jetzt mal kurz duschen gehen, gehen wir beide offline, kommen wir beide gleichzeitig wieder. Neuer Vorteil, wir kommen.
Hoppala.
Boah, der war saftig, schmachtig.
Der war auch, der dürfte aber auch so einen leichten Ansatz an Ekligkeit mit drin gehabt haben, ey. Nun, das Problem ist, Steuervorteile und so ist ja schön und gut, aber leider zählt das doch bei Homosexuellen noch nicht so richtig, oder?
Doch eine eingetragene Partnerschaft dürfte auch bei Homosexuellen zählen.
Ah, okay.
Alter, ich habe ein Lilipad bekommen.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has to say.
Alfredo, was kletterst du auf dem Baum rum?
Welcome. What would you like to
Bloß
buy?
kein Scheiß, Alfredo, ich sage dir.
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the, Liyue Anglers Association, and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Jur-E, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid!
Ah, yes, Juri. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so too!
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Zum nächsten Fischer soll mal gehen.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000.
Ein Fisch kostet 300 Mora und 3 Stück kosten 1000. Ey, das ist Betrug! Er wird ja mal teurer!
Automate your Cobble Generator wird transferred?
Ja.
Was?
Also
ich kann mich erinnern, dass du damals irgendwas gemacht hast mit denen, aber...
Du brauchst...
Ey, Alfredo hat ein Ei gelegt.
Du brauchst eine Item Transfer Node, du brauchst eine Kiste und ein sogenanntes Mining Upgrade.
Oh.
And then you're set.
Item Transfer.
Nebenbei, um Wasser zu automatisieren in einem Tank, könntest du auch eine Fluid Transfer Node nehmen. Auch eine sehr gute Variante nebenbei für die
Crucible. Einmal muss ich noch stören.
Wenn, dann störst du Kevin, nicht mich.
Das tue ich eh immer gern. Wo ist Patches? Oder komme ich zu dem gar nicht mehr, weil ich schon zu weit bin?
Willst du was von ihm kaufen oder was?
Na, ich muss ihn mir doch erst als NPC holen, oder nicht?
Du bist zu weit, du kannst, wenn nur da hingehen, wo er in der Höhle ist.
Ja.
Und dann kriegst du sein Bellberry. Aber seine Questline kannst du nicht mehr machen, soweit ich weiß. Also wenn du das kaufen willst, kein Problem.
Ja. Und sein Bellbearing, weißt du, wo ich das finde?
In der Höhle, da wo er ist.
Das sagt mir jetzt nicht so viel.
Und wo ist die Höhle, Tobi?
Bei
Kevin.
Lingrave auf dem See nach oben.
Ich hoffe, du trittst auf den Legostein. Du meinst Murkwater Catacombs? Ist das
Nein.
Nee?
Wenn du den Limgrave, nicht in Leonia, sondern Limgrave.
Machen wir mal weiter.
You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Wow, she switched identity again.
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Jur-E who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently. Do you know anything about this?
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. And he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business. Don't tell him I said that.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame. And nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. Okay, let's keep going.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honored to meet you.
Oh,
what
God,
brings
Jesus.
you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
But of course. We also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes with questions.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of Juri. For example, I can't remember. Probably 'cause it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about Juri in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am!
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Jiri seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gao spoke highly of him, and Dugu Shuo seems to like him too.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost seems too good to be true.
Ist was dran? Oh. Ach ja.
Sudden? Too good to be true? What do you mean?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. That's a little over the top, if you ask me. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the reaction I would expect from any normal person. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor, none of these are recent events. So why are these stories only going around now?
When you put it like that, it is kinda strange.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he has the mora to pay for a publicity campaign. Right. And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixing. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be closest to the truth.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. What should we do? Even if we asked Jiri about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues.
Alfredo spielt im Koppelchen rum. Nachdem er Dinge beklettert hat. Das ist ein ganz schön suizides Hühnchen. Gefühlt.
Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in Jur-E's manifesto on who we're dealing with. Come on, let's get back to Yenshang Tea House.
Was sagt der Schmied? Es gibt ein paar geschmiedete Objekte, die ich abholen kann, aber die hole ich noch nie ab. Okay. Falscher Ausgang.
Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up will be like trying to find a needle in... I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. When we're finished, we'll put our heads together. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that he's one of his favorite students. Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to look carefully and think critically.
Das wird ja witzig.
Even though Yelan took half, this is still a lot to get through. Well, we gotta start somewhere. Oh, this reading is giving Paimon a headache. Let's take a break.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers, Xianghua! If you're back, that means you finished investigating Tianwei, right?
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your findings.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Tianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Tianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult, but here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Tianwei's accounts are open to the public. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Tianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make Mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make Mora, but instead...
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh? How come you're here?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills, and am always one step ahead of the competition. Well, when you're the competition, at least.
You... whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before you. Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating Mingbois.
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbois struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else overlooks.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbois at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Mingbois is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the Ministry often gets Mingbois to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the Ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbois gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't seen it for myself, though.
Whoa, that's hard to imagine.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
So that's what you meant by that. I'm starting to get it now.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the manifesto?
We still have a bit.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entries. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Cheongshu Pool redevelopment plan. Cheongshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Cheongshu Pool. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with a special kind of explosive. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a mere legend. Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems extremely risky. It seems out of step with the rest of his plans. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarders, the Fatui, even local Liyue factions. Did you find anything?
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of the manifesto? Oh yeah! Zhi-Yi said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if any suitable projects come up.
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Zhi-Yi wants the Blackcliff Forge to excavate the treasure of Cheongshu Pool.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Zhi-Yi's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any powerful factions at present. They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project like this. Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Black Cliff Forge, we should see where they lead. We may well find something new.
Shenwei and Mingbok both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
Am Ende des Tages ist der sympathischste Typ von allen eigentlich die hinterfotzigste, dreckigste Schlange vom Herrn. So, da sollen wir hin. Ich habe gehört, wir machen kurz einen Abstecher nach drüben, weil ich brauche für die Kanne sowieso noch Materialien. Also, nein. Einmal Truppe, einmal meine Farmer-Jungs und Mädels. Ein Farmer-Jung und Mädels. Warum habe ich Janfei dabei? Das macht ja so mal gar keinen Sinn. Wie kommt die denn daher? Da sollte doch eigentlich Turba sein. Wegen Angeln und so. Was kann Janfei denn? Zeigt alle Besonderheiten Lewis in der Nähe. Achso. Deswegen. Ich gehört trotzdem nicht zu dem Hunter-Trupp.
Let's get out there and make some friends.
Oh, jetzt müssen die Fischer raus. Ich will mal kurz eine Sache gucken. Ich kann alltägliche Gerichte machen, okay. Was kannst du? Erschaffen hat eine Wahrscheinlichkeit von 25% extra ein anderes zufälliges Material für Talente aus demselben Gebiet mit einer dem verbrauchten Material entsprechenden Stufe. Oh. Okay, das ist interessant. Ach, Leute, sie hat einen Schwimmbonus. Haha. Ja, gut. Ja, okay. No doubt about that one. Das ist das beste Team aktuell. Zum Sammeln von Materialien. So. Bäume kloppen. Fuck. Hier bauen wir schon mal keiner von denen, die ich abbasteln kann. Hey, ich brauche wir sind Holz. Wank, 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 wank. Ich bin die WC-Ente, nack, nack. Okay, ich habe mit dem Eichhörnchen gerade nicht gerechnet. Denn, Farming-Gebiet hier für Dürrs und Holz und dergleichen. Hier war ich schon. So, die Schatzräuber lasse ich mal in Ruhe. Ist ein bisschen zu weit gerutscht, Thomas. Danke.
Who wants some of this?
Oh.
Tobi ist wieder da.
Yes, ich habe hier eben Essen warm gemacht.
Attaboy!
Und jetzt wird erstmal gegessen.
Guten Hunger.
Danke dir.
So. Weiter Bäume farmen, Wusa.
Ja, ich will One Piece schauen. Folge 349. Raffi in höchster Not.
Immer noch ein Baum, den ich nicht auffarmen kann. Re? Wie viel von dem Holz habe ich denn wieder? Level 90 und grün, das kann ich bei der aktuellen Truppenstärke irgendwie nicht glauben.
Can't catch me.
Ich merke gerade, ich habe ja noch so einiges zu erkunden, wenn ich so genauer betrachte, die ganze Geschichte. Eieiei. So. So. Auf nach unten. Juhu. Und sie wird
This
sterben.
is the Black Cliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
Wie hat das Raiden überlebt? The fuck? Okay.
Clear skies can do nothing to hide the brilliance of lightning. Divine bolts can strike even in the absence of rain. Do you see that tree? Wait, you understand? So, demonstration is not required. Good. All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Okay, Rain.
What's this? A diary?
From the back, it looks like a ledger, but it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think? These newcomers, who could have sent them?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted to team leader. At this rate, by the time the Qingshu Pool
Alles
redevelopment
klar,
plan
Bro.
is ready to roll,
Lösch einfach eine
they'll
Seele.
be the technical backbone of the team.
So muss das, Tobi, oder nicht?
Ja.
That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find underground. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jur-E recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identities. That's the advantage of planning this far in advance. It was a clever move.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have stolen the treasure. So, who's really behind all this?
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that worker over there for now.
Spionagearbeit. Apropos Dürrsandholz, ich wollte vorhin noch gucken, wie viel habe ich denn inzwischen? Da. 55, das ist jetzt nicht viel, aber das ist schon mal ein Anfang.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the newcomers.
You want them to teach you or something? I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join them. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other over time.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing it's a long trip to the nearest tavern.
You got that right. They tell me
Sag mal,
they
Tobi,
go
muss
all
ich
the way
die
back to
Typen da
Lure
jetzt
Harbor
kaputt
to
hauen?
drink at Wan Min Restaurant. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking again right away. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go talk somewhere else. Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very suspicious. Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. I'll wager they've been going to intelligence updates. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but let's follow them and try our luck.
They went that way! Hurry, we gotta catch up! towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned house. Looks like we were too late.
Tobi, hast du gerade gesehen, das war doch dein Bild, oder nicht?
Gut möglich, das ist ja relativ populär.
Aber ich habe den gefightet und zum Ende hat er sich, den letzten bisschen wollte er seine Ash of War, hat sich selbst abgestochen.
Ja, aber kann ich mir fast denken, ja.
Was?
Ja.
Dass er sich selbst wegsticht.
Ne, die wissen nicht, was die Ash of War macht.
Ach so. Na, bis jetzt geht's. Ich habe noch 6 Flasken und habe noch einen vor mir.
Ja. So.
Ich bin ja auch überlevelt für die Region.
Und
hier.
Blutung.
Ja, ja. Mit schön Rivers of Blood einfach reinhalten. Gut, ich bin wieder weg.
Okay.
Mensch.
This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. But all the evidence has been destroyed. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before everything was finished burning.
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible. I've checked. All the paper's been burned. There's only ash left now.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge? They've got to go back there sooner or later.
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's mysteriously abandoned now. To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else, to throw our investigation off course.
Darn! Guess this is where our trail runs cold.
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really? Paimon can't smell anything. Do you smell anything?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can arrest anyone with. But it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with. I can plan our next move.
Lady Yelan, Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Who are you?
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Zhiyi's regular contacts. Since Zhiyi likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors, so he took a boat out to sea to ask around. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Zhiyi before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. Fortunately, someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my clothes.
Well, Uncle Tian said that Zhiyi once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything about that at all?
What? That's news to me. No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman out there, and none of them mentioned anything about a recipe.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup? What fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Zhiyi, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Especially when he thinks he's about to win. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss the show.
Yelan ist ganz schön abgekocht.
Oh, brother. Itto had to get someone else to write his invitations for him? This guy's beyond hope. Still, the almighty Arataki Great and Glorious Drum-Along Festival does sound pretty exciting. Do you think they'll have lots of tasty snacks? Ooh, why don't we go to Rito and check it out?
Gleich, Paimon. Erstmal machen wir Yelan fertig.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Gut, gehen wir diesmal einen Shortcut. Und einfach mal in die Cutscene reindroppen. Ja, yeet! Funktioniert sogar.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce the results of the assessment process. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tien entrusted me with the monumentally important task of assessing the candidates. And now, it falls to me to give him a satisfactory answer.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush, just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into testy exchanges with other people. Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough, and because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board, and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue, after much consideration. I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue Qixing.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become keenly aware of your great talents. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future? And taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you will work hard and make Uncle Tien proud.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order. Would anyone like to join me?
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, Traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
I, also wouldn't mind knowing.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave!
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid of them!
Lady Yelan, Zhi has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tien thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
Jetzt kommen wir nicht mal zu dem Punkt, wo auch mal in dem Legendenauftrag geprügelt wird. Oder auch nicht. Das ist doch Feenhang. Wann ist denn das in Liyue? Na gut.
I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without being seen.
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's subordinates? I guess Zhi didn't let his guard down. Still as vigilant as ever.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense when he's being watched.
How?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Xinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then, but without any evidence, that would have been... So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Xinyue kiosk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but
Action?
that's okay. As long as he's still
Auf der
swimming around,
Fullscreen?
we'll find a way to catch him eventually. The key is figuring out
spielt
what
wieder
he's trying to
Minecraft.
achieve.
Ja.
Let's go to Xinyue kiosk.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question him?
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Auf dem Weg zum Opfern, war super, Alfredo.
And wine there. I see. Let's go.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Jetzt wird's aber verworren, doch. Mal von
Was?
einer Firma zur nächsten laufen hier.
Machst gerade Detektiv oder was?
Der Legendenauftrag ist tatsächlich pure Detektivarbeit.
Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered a wineware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was.
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi's choice. Would you be able to show us the one he bought?
Zhi picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and feel of a luxury item. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock, and now that Mr. Zhi has taken one, I'm afraid it may encourage the price to go up a little.
Don't worry, price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on one thing. Did Zhi's wineware set include wine glasses, or...?
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Zhi bought 2.
Okay. Thanks, Linlong. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought. We'll have to mull it over.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out any day now. All right, see you next time.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary civilian without being seen.
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your...
Fair point.
Yelan, so has the plan failed? Oh, went, there's not much we can do. But why was he buying liquor at Shinue Kiosk anyway? To celebrate?
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
First of all, Jur-E isn't much of a drinker. On
Guck,
some
so,
level,
Alfredo.
he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol,
So, ich
let
brauche
alone
aber
buy a
Eisen.
pair of special wine glasses.
Automatisieren die
This
Cobblestone
is a
Farm.
victory
Also,
feast, held in
Auf
honor
Farm,
of Jur-E's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very
Alfredo, pass
high
bitte auf.
status. Hence the need for expensive-looking wineware. Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description, I wonder?
Geil ist, die stehen da unten alle mit einem halben Herz.
Should be either the Snezhnayan Embassy or the Northland Bank.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move? If so, you can count me in.
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Jur-E may be vigilant, but that doesn't mean the same is true for his drinking buddy. In which case, we don't need to change tactics. Just change who we're following.
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Jur-E bought that liquor for and follow them instead!
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic incident.
Was machst du
I'm well
gerade, Kev?
aware, but don't you see? Jur-E
Wie wir vorhin schon
is
geklärt haben,
doing
Detektivarbeit.
If
Ach so.
we really want to catch him, we're going to have to accept a little risk ourselves. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. Anywhere else Jur-E might be going. I want eyes on those locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Jur-E may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch on the movements of all Fatui officials.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You should go and get ready. Then meet me at Yenshang Tea House.
Zurück zur Teestube. Wahrscheinlich wieder oben. Natürlich.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction of Qingshu Pool.
Oh, wow. Ich bin alt.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place Jur-E mentioned in his manifesto!
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible choice, I'll give them that. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to worry about being seen.
Oh no, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is correct, we just might hit the jackpot this time.
Ach, das ist der Qingshu-Tempel. Okay.
Also wir dürfen diese Mobfarm niemals upgraden, Kevin. Weil wenn wir da diese Cursed Earth reintun oder was das ist, ne?
Mhm.
Ja, ich glaube dann. Also. Dann sehe ich das schwarz.
Naja, bis dato werden wir das Ding aber auch schon automatisiert haben.
Crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear.
Willst
of
du wieder
this
mit Diamond Spikes arbeiten?
I've looked into the place before. There's a
Aber die
workers
konnte man
entrance
enchanten,
somewhere
ne?
around
Mit
here.
Looting.
Follow me.
Mhm. Und vor allem auch mit Reaper. Deswegen man überhaupt erst Diamond Spikes nutzt.
Jo, stimmt.
Und was bedeutet Reaper für uns, Tobi?
Warte kurz. Aber was ist nun mal der Effekt von Reaper? Keine Ahnung.
Du droppst die Seelen der Mobs.
Ah!
Und die Seelen der Mobs bedeuten logischerweise ein Draconic Spawner. Der funktioniert.
Ich erinnere mich, wir haben den Wither automatisiert.
Mhm.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Es fängt mit Wolverskeletten an und endet mit Wolf.
Perfekt.
Ja.
Ich freue mich schon so auf Applied Logistics, jetzt wo ich da ein Studium drin gemacht habe. Ich habe gerade irgendwas aus meinem Inventar geworfen. Aber ich weiß nicht was, aber es kann nicht wichtig gewesen sein.
Höchstwahrscheinlich nicht.
There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. I can't guarantee we'll be safe once we're underground. The workers left an emergency access route. If we can find it, this will be a much easier journey. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance needs to be taken out quickly and quietly.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your 3 little helpers at?
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford to wait for them, but they'll join us later.
So, auf in die Sphäre. Level 90 empfohlen, wir bleiben bei dem Trupp. Die Stufe der aktuellen Truppe ist etwas niedrig. Mima, Mob, tralala. Halt's Maul, mir egal. Wir gehen trotzdem rein. Okay. Ist das der Eventbogen? Nee. Das ist der Five-Star-Bogen. Okay. Oh lol.
Brain cutter. Body and mind. Rise.
As one with wind and cloud.
Gotcha. Busted. Here comes the catch. As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
Ambassador here to meet Ji. Looks like he went through that door. That must be the emergency access route, right? Come on, let's hurry.
Ich verstehe. Okay. Geodrachenhexen, ich liebe es.
Illusion! Let me weave you a verse.
Gotcha.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
So. Come on, baby, light my fire. Woohoo. Das sieht nach einem anderen Weg durchaus, ja. Paimon, das hast du richtig erkannt.
Warte, bin ich eigentlich schwul?
Wieso?
Ich wollte ein bisschen Sand farmen für mehr Eisen.
Mhm.
Der mich unter den in den Koppelgenerator rein und baue mit einer Spitzhacke. Macht doch viel mehr Sinn direkt mit Mama, oder nicht?
Nein! Nein, das kommt dir nur so vor.
Aber muss ich irgendwas anmachen oder warum tut Jay eigentlich meine Dinge automatisch moven?
Das war nicht JI.
Wer war denn das?
Das war,
Inventory Tweaks.
Genau.
Da muss ich wahrscheinlich meine Mod
Life goes on.
Inventory Tweaks.
Ring cutter.
Ich disable. Config. Auto Refill on, danke. Repair Frenzy Refill, nein, nicht. Soll bitte benutzt werden.
Hoppala. Na. Das macht schon mal nichts. Das hilft mir auch nicht. So, lol. Für Mann tippen zum Bewegen. Oh Gott, das ist wieder so ein Schieberätsel wie in Inazuma. Okay. Ich verstehe. Eieiei. Da. Zurückbewegen, erstmal eine Kiste abgreifen, war klar. So, dann bewege ich das Ding hier weg. Geht nicht. Bewege ich halt dies zurück. Oh, da hat Tobi Krümel gefunden.
Ja, ich hab gerade eine Brezel gegessen.
Into the wind. Busted. Gotcha.
So.
Things are about to get
Krümel
dicey.
weg. Wir haben noch keinen Eiseneimer, ne?
Doch.
Echt, wo ist denn der?
In der Toolskiste.
Toolskiste, war das die hier?
Das war die in der Nähe von den Tinkers-Sachen.
Ach, die hier.
Im Boden eingelegt.
Hier. Da ist aber kein... Ich finde keinen. Maybe im Inventar.
Das kann natürlich sein.
Aber gut, wenn wir einen haben, dann kann ich ja eigentlich den Clay Bucket schnell benutzen. Ja, ne, hier ist keiner.
Kann es sein, dass ich den im Inventar habe?
Oh, alles gut.
Oh, jetzt kommt Wasser runter. Okay. Das ist ja wild. What the heck?
Would you like to suck my cock?
The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
Das war jetzt ein Ja.
Hm?
Alles gut. Du hast nur gerade meinen Terms and Conditions zugestimmt.
Ach so. Ist das nicht schon Ewigkeiten obsolet?
Ja, okay. Wenn du es natürlich so sagen willst.
Be honest, I ain't even wrong.
Vielleicht. Ich würde es nicht so brutal ausdrücken.
Naja, was heißt brutal? Es ist einfach nur straight up ehrlich.
Hallo,
Hallo Arne.
Aber bei dem Vieh ist das Rumgesparkel schon lästig, ne?
Bei was? Wo bist du?
Dem Knilch, da hocke ich gerade die ganze Zeit.
Ach, du machst einen Urtree-Avatar.
Na, mein Problem, das ich habe, ist jedes Mal diese dumme Sparkle-Scheiße, die der hat.
Die dumme Sparkle-Scheiße.
Dem seine Magie ist doch vollkommen normal. Was hast denn du, Arne?
Junge, sein Captain Sparkles Bullshit geht mir so auf den Keks.
Also habe ich schon nervigere Magie kennengelernt.
Nö. Wenn er da mir 10 Sterne hinterher wirft, ist das nicht so geil.
Ach. Einfach straight up geradeaus rennen, dann trifft er eh nichts.
Ah, gut, darüber habe ich natürlich nicht nachgedacht, dass ich den einmal nochmal brauche.
Ach, seid ihr wieder in mein Kampf drin?
Tobi ist in meinem Kampf.
Ja.
Und wie die trifft Kevin. Du Bitch.
Busted.
Jetzt geht er mir wieder mit Scarlet Rot auf den Keks.
Witness the power of the walk.
Fallen leaves
Kevin?
adorn my
Scarlet Rot?
Ja, schon in NRW.
Da gibt's auch, es gibt auch Urtrees, die haben Scarlet Rot drauf, ja.
Oh.
Ich glaube, es gibt 2 oder 3.
Hurra, Scarlet Rot, was für eine kreative Attacke hat mir noch da. Aua.
Das war das ironisch.
Wie kommst du drauf?
Ganz ehrlich.
Geh doch weg mit deinem Magie-Bullshit. Merk schon, Autokonter ist Magie-Nonsense im Kreis laufen. Danke für den hilfreichen Tipp, Kevin.
Hm?
Oh, jetzt spam doch den Scheiß nicht noch. Als hätte er gehört, dass es mir auf den Keks geht.
Das hört er nicht, das fühlt der.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Oh, sorry, that went down the wrong way. I've never drunk anything this strong before. It'll take me some getting used to.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
Ah, ist
You're more
klar.
of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after 1 glass? I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking, more drinking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate all your hard work. But, I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poisoning people. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result. How did you think of that?
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tien Shu. Of course, this is as long as you continue to do as we instruct. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform you of in due course.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's why Uncle Tien hasn't been feeling well recently. It's all Jurye's doing. What a nasty guy! Seize him!
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent liquor. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qingshu Pool. It's been a real headache for me. But soon, everything will be taken care of, and I can report back on a successful mission. Thank you, Juryi. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you still remember what I said to you?
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu, no matter how hard I work. The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment. I think you were absolutely right.
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow wider over time. Just look at your two competitors. Qianwei had wealth. Mingbo had reputation. But you had nothing. You were just another nobody. And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home for the rest of its life.
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told without complaining. Hey, keep up the good work, and I can assure you, you'll never have to worry about Mora again. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want. How about that?
Uncle Gao said that Juryi has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time, so the Fatui persuaded him that he should act while he can. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale should be coming up any minute now. How well this goes for us depends on how Juryi plays his hand.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood today, and I'm gonna drink my fill. Make sure to get me home safely afterward.
there's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the good stuff. It is great. Huh? What the? Jerry, you poisoned my wine? But when?
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov.
How could you?
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. And in the end, I even had to poison my own teacher. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bow down to anyone ever again. And that includes you.
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I disappear with no explanation, the embassy will come after you. They'll get to the bottom of this. Mark my words.
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives, the ruins will collapse, and everything will be buried.
What do you hope to?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become one as the truth gradually reveals itself. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Mistakes were made that led to the accidental deaths of the entire crew. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to blame it all on a rogue operation by you. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then, I'll be Tianshu in my own right, with a clean record and well out of the Fatui's reach.
Jerry, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That includes the poison, all interactions between us, even my trip here tonight. After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom of this.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second-in-command, Theophan?
What? How do you know about that?
Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a long time now.
That traitor! Jerry, you...
Krass. Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And anyone else in the know is either my accomplice or about to be taken out of the picture. Sweet dreams, Mr. Yusupov.
Das hat ja einen interessanten Turn genommen.
did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely. Want to see them?
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Miss Yelan. I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases you, Miss Yelan, I'd be only too happy to have you join me in investigating this matter.
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien's. Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then. Time to go.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. I should have been more careful. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much I can still guarantee.
Your point being?
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can expect very generous treatment in the future. I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I have?
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be able to deceive yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tien ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you may have started out with, you threw it away in that moment.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tien was always going to give you this opportunity, even if you'd done nothing at all. Out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for 1 second.
That's enough! That's enough.
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan. But you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jur-E these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yenshang Tea House tomorrow morning. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the professionals. Don't worry. As long as they're willing to cooperate, this'll be a straightforward deal. Get some rest. See you tomorrow.
Was ne wilde fucking Nummer, Alter. I love it. Das wird die Richtung Ende hin hier richtig geil. Ich brauche wieder mal ein 200-Team, Alter. So, es hieß bei Wangshu-T, bei Wangshu-T, Haus? Ja. Warte bis nach 8 Uhr am nächsten Tag. Ja, okay, dann gehe ich kurz zum Schmied, kurz zu Catherine. Ich glaube, die Dailies machen wir heute dann doch nicht.
Add Astra.
Klink. Fuck. So. Haben wir den Teil der Weeklies schon mal durch. Dann gehen wir noch mal kurz in die Kanne. Keine der Vergänglichkeit, so. Meine Güte. Läuft ja gerade wieder grandios, ey. Knolle!
This realm is.
Dekoration herstellen, bitte. Und zwar habe ich da so ein paar neue Dinge, die gecraftet werden möchten, die allerdings Dürsandholz brauchten. Was ich nicht hatte. Hier ist noch der Kran. Lol. Ernsthaft, das ist nur der Kran? Tatsache? Ja, das ist nur der Kran. Hm. So, machen wir das so. So, die Schatzkammer aktuell. Ich kann das ganze Zeug alles kaufen, nice. So, was habe ich denn noch mit? Ich glaube, ich habe nur Glaslinien und Seidenblumen angepflanzt, ne? Ne, die Glöckchen waren noch dabei und die Wallbeeren. Ne. Shishin? Shishin waren es, okay. Schoß! Danke, Knolle. So. Na, nicht Gebete, ich will zu dem hier. Ich möchte Tagesaufträge, ich möchte Wochenaufträge. So, was fehlt mir hier denn noch? Die Bitten der Bewohner, die Kopfgeldjagden und Dekorationen. Ja, okay. Also zu meinem Standard. Dass noch diverse andere Sachen fehlen, klar, ist mir bewusst, aber das in der Woche zu schaffen? Bei dem strikten Zeitplan? Nee. Echt nicht. So, geh ich nochmal die Itto-Bande ran? Nö. Wir gehen tatsächlich nach Liyue, machen einen kleinen Zeitsprung auf den nächsten Tag 8 Uhr und dann schauen wir nochmal. So. Damit wir den Legendenauftrag durch haben. Warte morgen bis 8 Uhr. Okay, let's go. Nium. Ah. Wenigstens ist es nicht so eine Quest wie bei Inazuma. Mit dem komischen Tiegel da. Da bin ich erstmal gespannt, was da jetzt kommt. App.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baiju, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2 to 3 years. It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point, things would have been much more serious.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seems the Fatui are extremely resourceful. Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tian will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much.
Hallo, Baiju.
Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve this situation. And I'll have to make some tea in a moment. You simply have to try it. Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone. My mind is steadily getting clearer again.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tian. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position, but Qianwei and Mingbo both have potential.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this. But whenever it happens, it's still a dismal experience.
Bisschen schade ist ja schon.
Is it just Paimon, or is Uncle Tian not that surprised?
Don't underestimate Uncle Tian. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about Zhi. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates. Isn't that right, Uncle Tian?
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. But I have to be responsible with the position of Tianshu. When I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I secretly investigated him. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. He just saw me as an ordinary fishing friend. In the end, even he changed. But when did it start? I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. Family background and fame mean everything to many people, but I don't attach great importance to them. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things. What I really admired about Zhi was his intelligence and resilience.
I have to admit, he's a smart guy. and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Jur-E was still extremely careful with the poisoning. He chose that specific liquor from Shinue Kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison, and he chose to wait until the Fatui official was drunk and had his guard down before delivering it to him. He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, Jur-E would have drunk the poisoned wine himself, and then found an opportunity to take the antidote shortly afterwards.
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes, had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve his goal.
Der ist schon verbissen, ey.
How is Jury now?
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yenfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to pay the price.
Yep.
Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be planning.
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested him?
Yes, Jur-E's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinates as soon as I realized. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting. I thought I might have the chance to catch a big fish.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook at the last second.
Uncle Tian? Yelan? What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't understand.
Jur-E colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, the Fatui made an attempt to interfere in the Tianshu selection process. With Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Jur-E, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well, did your plan succeed?
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone, along with all the evidence.
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond so quickly.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only treating this as a peripheral concern. It's a pity that Theophan got away, but knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something. It gives me a starting point for my next mission.
I have to ask, Yelan, do you have any desire to take over the position of Tianshu yourself? I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House. In my estimation, you are more than competent.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role, as Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or face any real danger.
Gott.
All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading off again in a few days, and I still have to prepare.
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another misadventure before too long.
Sowieso.
Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people are watching you for a lot of reasons. If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tien. After the recent turn of events, I'd say he owes you one, wouldn't you?
What would you like to know? Something I've said to Jury, Qinwei, and Mingbo before is that while cunning and scheming are quite crucial, even more important than this is staying true to yourself. Jury and Ambassador Yusupov each saw each other as a means to an end. They thought that if they could just outsmart their opponent, they would emerge the final victor. And yet, in the eyes of Yelan and Regrator, they are but pawns in a much bigger game. Scheming is an endless endeavor. If you can't cope with it, you're better off staying out of it. It gives you a much clearer view in any case. Everyone has self-interest, but you cannot let it be your master. So, don't fight over fleeting gains and losses. Rather, focus on the direction your heart is leading you, and keep moving forward. What would you like to know? I first met Yelan when she was very young. Even back then, she was extremely tough, and she kept her cards close to her chest. An old friend of mine once privately commented to me that Yelan is always smiling, but never with her eyes. She is a very dangerous person. Something of an exaggeration in my view. At least, I know she would never hurt the people she trusts.
Ja, das glaube ich.
What would you like to know? Regrator is the 9th of the Fatui Harbingers, though likely the first among them where wealth is concerned. However, his wealth is not a mere question of how much more he has to his name. He has a very unique understanding of wealth, and what he's planning may very well shake the world to its core. Beyond that, I don't have a lot of information about him. If you need to know more in the future, you can ask Ningguang. What would you like to know? As Yelan says, now that I'm on the mend, I should have another few years' worth of work in me. During this time, I plan to gradually hand over my duties while mentoring some new candidates. That reminds me. Qianwei and Mingbo are still waiting downstairs. I must go and have a chat with them shortly.
So Jerry is already in prison, I guess?
You think? He poisoned Uncle Tien. I still can't believe he'd do that. Why the long face?
Nothing. I think it's a great shame. I always thought he's very smart. If he became Tianshu, he'd be able to accomplish many things I could never hope to.
Don't feel bad. I'll admit he was a strong contender, but give me 3 years and I'll overtake him. When I become Tianshu, I'll make you my deputy. Like the sound of that?
Start by working on your temperamental issues. If you can't keep your cool, your work will suffer. Right now, you still have a long way to go before you'll be eligible to take the Tianshu position.
I'll get there. One step at a time. And then, before you know it, there'll come a day when you won't be able to find a single flaw in me or my work. First things first, though. Let's go and talk to Uncle Tien.
Gut, so viel zum Legendenauftrag. Ja.
Welches Upgrade genau war das von extra Utilities, was ich für die Node brauche?
Warum läuft dann
World-
Firefox?
World Interaction Upgrade?
Ja.
Ist das?
Ja, stimmt.
Oh,
Stimmt.
da brauche ich noch ein bisschen Eisen. Habe ich noch genügend dafür?
Stimmt, World Interaction Upgrade heißt es inzwischen. Früher war es das Mining Upgrade. Richtig.
Ich habe übrigens also ich habe unseren Koppelgenerator jetzt geupgradet.
Cool.
Du kannst jetzt 4 gleichzeitig Vein minen.
Ah, du hast es getan, wunderschön. Ja.
Und ich weiß nicht, ob du es auch schon so gemacht hast, aber um zum Beispiel etwas zu hammern. Also zum Beispiel Gravel weghammern.
Ja.
Schnell, einfach habe ich es gemacht. Ich bin ins Wasserbecken gegangen, habe mir eine Ecke genommen und habe in dem Wasserbecken mich hochgebaut. So viel wie ich habe. Und dann bin ich oben drauf gestanden und habe oben einfach den kompletten Strahl, egal wie viel es ist, runter wegveinminert. Bis ich runterfalle und unten ankomme, ist das Wasser wieder da und alles ist weg.
Ja.
Weiß nicht, ob du das auch so gemacht hast, aber...
Nö, tatsächlich nicht. Ich habe mir meistens immer irgendwo einen riesigen Block gebaut und hab den Hammer seinen Job machen lassen.
Oder so, ja.
Vein Miner hat hier eine sehr große Range tatsächlich.
Ja, im Grunde ja unendlich.
Das alte Vein Miner war noch ein bisschen eingeschränkt, aber ja.
Oh. Wie läuft Genshin?
Den Legendenauftrag habe ich durch. Jetzt packe ich gleich noch das Event kurz an und dann ist auch leider schon wieder Zeit für die Dusche. Nun.
Dann habt ihr nicht blöd. Wo ist denn hier ein Grace?
Dann viel Erfolg dabei.
Schanke dünn.
Bitte.
Stadt unsicher machen, darum geht's nämlich jetzt.
Ein paar Leuten auf die Fresse hauen.
Nee, Party feiern.
Na, das ist auch geil.
Ja. Es gibt inzwischen einen Charakter, der könnte dir vielleicht sogar sympathisch sein, aber nun.
Du gehst jetzt in Genshin Party feiern, oder wie?
Richtig.
Ah, ich dachte schon.
Ich dachte schon.
Ey, Party feiern. Pff. Komm schon, Arne.
Komm schon, Arne.
Nee. Das geht nur, wenn Tobi dabei ist.
Das weg.
Ja, das war zu hoch.
Maybe you think?
Ist da jemand an Fallschaden gestorben?
Nein.
Nein?
Das ist gelogen.
Nein.
Viel Erfolg euch beiden.
Danke, ebenfalls.
So. Dann auf nach Viva la Home, auf nach Inazuma, auf nach Rito und schauen wir doch mal, was Itto so vorhat.
Paimons looked everywhere, but there doesn't seem to be a festival going on anywhere near here. The atmosphere isn't festive at all. Shall we go ask the Doshin? Maybe they'll know something.
Wetten, Itto hat irgendwas versucht und die haben ihn wieder abgeführt.
Oh, do you need a hand with anything? What? A festival? I haven't heard anything about a festival coming up. Could you be more specific? What festival are you talking about exactly? Almighty Arataki?
It's the Almighty Arataki Great and Glorious Drumalong Festival, organized by the Arataki Gang.
Ah, yes. The same Arataki gang who made a scene at the Iridori Festival? So you're here for the unauthorized, unprofessional, and unofficial event, huh?
What? No, it's not anything. It's the Almighty Arataki Great and Glorious Drumalong Festival.
Yeah, I gotcha. No need to keep rehashing the name. I think I know what this is about. Let me bring you up to speed. So we saw the members of the Arataki gang here a few days ago, and they were busy at work leaving piles of hideous things all over the place. Their leader claimed to be hosting a grand event, big enough to rival the Iridori Festival. I think that must be the one you're talking about. I asked them a couple of questions, and it quickly became clear that they had no permit to host the event, no proof of venue hire, and, surprise, surprise, no record of having registered the event with the police station. Pfft, If that isn't the definition of an unauthorized, unprofessional, and unofficial festival, I don't know what is. According to the rules, we had to force them to shut down the event.
What? You shut it down? Let Paimon guess. Then you arrested them.
No, actually. Seeing that they had no prior experience organizing events and they'd at least gone to the trouble of preparing a safety plan, we just gave them a warning.
Safety plan? Huh. That's pretty responsible.
Anyway, if you're looking for the Arataki gang, you could try going to Amakane Island, which is a venue designated by the Yashiro Commission for use in all kinds of festivals, big and small. It was established to try and encourage community cultural events. The application process is much simpler there and less expensive too. We told the Arataki gang about that. If they still want to host their event, that's going to be their best option.
This whole thing is starting to sound like a non-starter. But since we've come this far, we might as well go and take a look at Amakane Island, right?
Das Ding klingt von Anfang an wie ein Schuss in den Ofen, wie ich es so schon nennen würde. Ah. Jetzt, sie ist gerade genannt, No Starter oder sowas. Ja, nun. Trifft die Sache auch ganz gut. Oh, Mann. Itto! Du willst Stress machen. Ihr wollt alle Stress machen.
Rain outlines your fate. Let
One with nature, as one with wind and cloud.
There is no escape.
My blade.
Lebst du noch? Eins muss man euch Samurai-Banditen lassen. Ihr haltet lange durch. Ihr seid trotzdem lächerlich. So. Komm, Arataki Fest, let's go.
Same situation as earlier. The Arataki gang is nowhere in sight. There should be a Yashiro Commission representative here. Let's go and ask him.
Sie wurden weggeschickt.
Ah, yes. You must be here for the almighty Arataki whatchamacallit festival too. Yep. Madam Kujo Sara of the Tenryo Commission and Yoimiya of Naganohara Fireworks have both been here so far. Yoimiya noticed them getting the venue ready when she was here to deliver some fireworks. I guess she got curious and went to go check it out. As to what Madam Kujo Sara was here for, I'm not quite sure.
Oh, so other people got here before us? Oh, that's a good sign.
Ein bisschen.
Where's the Arataki gang now?
Unfortunately, since there's no space available at any official venues at the moment, we had to allocate them to a tiny beach at the northwest part of the island. If only they'd applied earlier, we could have given them a better location. Head northwest. You'll see them.
Ach, okay, an dem kleinen Fleckchen da hinten. Ey, wie cute. Look at this cute little festival. Such cute mini wow. Hello.
Hey there, compadres! You finally made it!
Hi. Warum dauert das so lang?
I was just wondering when you'd be showing up. Next thing I know, boom, there you are. Oh boy, am I happy to see you. Look at this venue. What do you think? Is this a prime location or what?
It's surrounded by sea, the air is as fresh as it gets, there's no noise pollution from the city, and the views are simply spectacular.
The venue is situated against the backdrop of Amakane Island, where you can enjoy exclusive access to the festival and culture center's first-rate equipment.
With excellent transport links by sea and land, getting where you need to be is highly convenient, whether you're traveling by foot or by boat.
The moment I set eyes on this venue, I knew this was the one.
Nein.
It was the moment that changed the world.
Wir wissen, dass du vertröstet wurdest.
Give it up for the boss!
Clearly you're only here because the Tenryou Commission sent you away.
Alright, let's get down to business. I invited you all here to attend the almighty Arataki Great and Glorious Drum-Along Festival! A highly important festival, I might add.
Yeah, boss said the first goal of the festival is to promote the Arataki gang and recruit new members.
Secondly, it's to celebrate Shinobu's graduation.
And last but not least, it makes up for all the previous team-building events that were canceled due to insufficient funding.
3 festivals in one? Wow.
Akira, we can leave that last point out from now on. The thing with festivals is, you gotta get out there and promote them far and wide if you want to get a good crowd. So, Shinobu's handing out flyers.
Hey! Shinobu's supposed to be the star of the show, isn't she? How come she's out there working her butt off while you're hanging around here doing nothing?
Hey, I'm hard at work too. I'm entertaining guests.
Boss actually just got back.
He said he was expecting you to arrive any second, so he came back specially to welcome you.
Until then, he was out there with Shinobu working hard to bring more people to the festival.
Well, just doing my duty. Nothing more, nothing less.
Wow, this bullchucker actually did some serious work for once. Huh, Paimon's pleasantly surprised.
Trust a puny little flying lavender melon to stoop to the level of childish name-calling. Anyway, so, compadre, you got any questions about this festival?
Oh, eine Menge.
Oh, you mean that stupid Tengu? Yeah, I hesitated, but, I sent her an invitation. I cannot believe how ungrateful she is. Get this, she came all the way out here just to put up a bulletin board and write a load of baloney on it claiming that visitors need to be cautioned. She even warned us not to change it. It's blatant bullying of the gang, that's what it is. One day, I'm gonna defeat that Tengu fair and square, in broad daylight, in the middle of the street. She'll get what's coming to her. Anyway, so, compadre, you got any questions about this festival? The owner of Naganohara Fireworks? Chatting with her is a real blast. She only found out about our festival because she happened to be delivering some fireworks to Amakane Island. She really liked what we were trying to do here and came to pass on her best wishes. She even said she'll provide some fireworks for us next time. Looks like the Arataki gang should make sure to keep good ties with Naganohara Fireworks in the future.
Sowieso.
So, compadre, you got any questions about this festival? A ton of totally awesome stuff! See that hill over there? That's Sing-Along Hill. Stand at the top, look out over the sea, and sing your heart out! And this bonfire, it's perfect for roasting lavender melons, the regular kind, or the ones of the annoying little floating variety. And these boxes, plenty of space whether you want to play Genius Invocation TCG or battle some beetles.
Wow, you really pulled out all the stops.
But of course, the highlight of this festival is the drum-along. Here, feast your eyes on this. Just between you and me, this little treasure was sourced through a top-secret channel. They said it's a prized hand drum that once belonged to a renowned onmyoji, and it's worth 8 million mora. Thanks to my strapping good looks and the fact that the vendor and I kind of had a connection. Her words, not mine. She gave me a generous discount and only asked for 800,000 mora.
$800.000, ja, du hast 40 für dafür
She
ausgegeben.
went from 8 million to 800,000 just like that? Sounds suspiciously like a scam to Paimon.
Yep.
Duh. Oldest trick in the book, right? Which is why it didn't work on me. I spotted the damage on the edge right away. Practically screamed, "Defective product alert!" Ooh, we have a connection. Give me a break. So I haggled hard and took her down to 80 G's. Practically a steal.
Yeah, more specifically, daylight robbery. Still, it's pretty impressive that you could actually afford something worth 80,000 mora. Good for you, Bull Chucker.
It's only 80,000 mora. What do you take me for?
I put in 20 grand.
Me too. Huh? Boss, how come I had to pay 30 grand?
20 grand plus 20 grand plus 30 grand. You really are a bull chucker! You extorted 80 grand from your gang members and didn't pay a single mora yourself!
You might want to check your mathematics there. I paid my share, you know? I paid the last 10 grand. All right, good chat, but we should wrap things up. It's getting late. I should go rendezvous with Shinobu. The festival's just getting started. We need to keep plugging it to get a bigger crowd. Take care of the hand drum, all right? Oh, and if you want to try out the drum along at any point, Genta's your guy. Laters, compadre.
Oh, Gott. Itto.
The world remains constant over the centuries. But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
Penta, the Arataki Drum-Along Festival Welcome Ambassador. Are you ready for your drum-along performance? Oh, I almost forgot. There's something that Boss forgot to mention to you about this hand drum. Since none of us really know if it's in tune or not, please test it out first. That way, it'll sound better when you deliver your final performance. Go on, give it a try.
Wie geht jetzt weiter? Mhm. Okay, ich sehe gerade. So wirklich effektiv nutzen lohnt sich das Event erst in 4 Tagen.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion.
Is it all she wrote?
I stand before it, alone and unchanged.
I'm Genta, the Arataki Drum Along Festival Welcome Ambassador. Are you ready for your drum along performance? You noticed it too, huh? Yeah, I noticed almost straight away that something wasn't quite right. It looks exactly like the kind of toy drum I'd buy from street peddlers as a kid. I remember they only cost around 800 mora back then. Times change, I guess, but still, 80 grand is way too expensive. The boss definitely got scammed, no question. But what are you gonna do? He's still the boss. Are you ready for your drum along performance? You want to know when the boss is getting back? Sorry, I have no idea. What I do know is that the boss and Shinobu both see this festival as a major event, so they hope to get as many people to come as possible. That's why they're out there working hard to promote it. They said this will improve the image of the Arataki gang, but I wouldn't know anything about that kind of thing. Still, I think I'll be back to see you before it's over. After all, he respects you a lot. Are you ready for your drum along performance?
Okay.
Let the drum along begin!
Let's go full-fledged. Das ist fies. Gott! Okay. Lassen wir das. Lassen wir das. Fangen wir erstmal langsam an. Holy Shenanigans.
I'm Gent. Are you ready for your drum?
Ja, ist gut jetzt.
Let the drum.
Oh mein Gott, ist das wild. Es ist gut gemacht. No doubt about that one, but Jesus! It fucking ain't easy. Der Engel ist so gemein. Okay. 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 Sehr, also
I'm Genta. Are you ready for your drum along?
an für sich wait a minute. Sehe ich da Goro in einem Kleidchen? Lol. Okay, das sehe ich jetzt erst. An für sich ist es echt gut gemacht. Und es ist auch wieder eigentlich genauso einfach wie die anderen Musikdinge auch. Was mich nur komplett hops nimmt, ist einfach der scheiß Engel. Der nimmt mich so hops. Ah. Eieieiei. Junge, Junge, Junge. Tricky. Ich muss gleich mal gucken, ob ich eventuell... Puh. Ich mach mal kurz was. Ich habe gerade so eine Idee, was wohl. Wenn ich Akkorde spielen muss, ist mit Sicherheit die Tastatur nicht hilfreicher. Aber ich will trotzdem mal ausprobieren und gucken, wie die Steuerung sich auf der Tastatur dann entsprechend darstellt. Ich hatte gerade eben so ein bisschen so diese Osu-Hoffnung, aber dann fiel mir ein, warte mal, es gibt ja auch Akkorde. Genta.
I'm Genta. Are you ready for your drum along?
Ja, halt die Klappe. Fangen wir an. Yes, Sir. Ja, ist okay. ASD, JKL, ASD. Obwohl das könnte... Es könnte einfacher sein. ASD, JKL. Let's try it out. Normal Bude wackelt. Normal über den Wolken. Ja, let's... Dann macht das so ein bisschen mehr Sinn. Nee. Ich werd mit dem Event noch anders Spaß kriegen. Oh mein Gott. Und das sagt jemand, der Guitar Hero Gitarre hinter sich hängen hat. Ah, scheiße. Okay. Gut. Guck dir diese hübsche Goro mal an. Mensch. Itto. Was bist du denn für ein Arsch? Ich wette, da kommt doch noch irgendwas storytechnisch, dass dann Goro hier vorbeikommt und sich dann so denkt so, Hier steht das Standschild von Fräulein Hina, das ursprünglich außerhalb vom Verlagshaus Jahr aufgestellt wurde. Aha. Fräulein Hina. Ah. Okay. Gut. Ja, schon, gehen wir wieder zurück auf Controller. Ich krieg ja die Krise hier. So, verlassen. So. Das ist also wieder so ein typisches... Okay, ich weiß nicht so ganz, was das auf sich hat, aber... Ist auf jeden Fall wieder witzig, wird nur echt schwierig zu spielen sein. Ich würde sagen, wir kommen darauf zurück, sobald das Event durch ist. Release-technisch. Das wäre also Ende der Woche. Raiden, Zhongli, Klee, Thoma, Kasua. Okay. So. Machen wir einfach das Prinzip, weil wir so viel Ruhestand haben. Kaufen wir uns einfach mal 2 Gebete wieder. Und so langsam auf einem guten Weg Richtung Yoimiya fürs nächste Rolling. Gut. Dann würde ich mal sagen, mit dieser herben Enttäuschung zurück ins Zelt. Peace.